I don't know how you feel about dolls, but I actually find them scary, even though I go into haunted places to look for ghosts. There's just something about dolls that creep me out. And it's even creepier that Annabelle was based on a true story. So in 1970, a 28-year-old nursing student named Donna, in other accounts she's also been called Deidre, but Donna received a Raggedy Ann doll from her mother as a birthday present. Now you might think Raggedy Ann doll isn't scary at all compared to what they showed in the movie, but keep listening. So she was very happy with the doll, and she took it home where she lived with another nursing student who was a roommate named Angie, and they just put it on the couch, and everything seemed fine at first. But then they started noticing weird things, like they would leave the room, and when they came back, it seemed like the doll had changed positions, like it crossed its legs or something. One day, Donna came home, and she was sure that she had left the doll on the couch, but when she got home, she found the doll in her bedroom, and the bedroom door was closed. Another time, Donna brought the doll with her as she went to eat breakfast with her roommate, and both women saw the arms of the doll move. One evening, when the two women came home together, they opened the door and they saw the doll standing upright in the hallway staring at them, as if it had been waiting for them to come home. And also remember that Raggedy Ann dolls are totally soft. They have nothing to stand on. So the two women actually tried to prop up the doll, but it wouldn't. It kept flopping over, so something was holding that doll up. So the two women got a psychic medium to come over, and the psychic medium said the spirit of a 7-year-old girl who had died near the apartment building was occupying the doll, and the name of the little girl was Annabelle Higgins. And she told the women, she said, you know, this doll is fine, she's not scary, she's lonely. She wants to be with people who care for her. And so the two women felt a lot of sympathy for the spirit, and they gave her permission to stay there and stay with them, and they started to treat her like a person living with them. Big mistake. Things got darker real quick, and they could tell this was not the spirit of an innocent little girl. They started to hear strange knocking noises in the apartment, and they could hear someone whispering, but they couldn't find where the whispers were coming from. They started to find mysterious messages written on parchment paper around their apartment. The messages would say things like, "Help me." But the weird thing is, nobody in that apartment had parchment paper. Angie's boyfriend was so freaked out by the doll that he told the women to get rid of the doll by burning it, and he said this in front of the doll. And one day he heard rustling in his girlfriend's bedroom, and when he went to check, he didn't find anything except Annabelle laying face down on the floor of his girlfriend's bedroom. And one night when this boyfriend was asleep, he woke up and he saw Annabelle standing next to him by his bed, and he suddenly had a sensation of something choking him. He got so freaked out that he grabbed the doll and he threw it across the room, and then he got 7 deep scratches on his body. And the last straw was when they found drops of blood on Annabelle's hands and chest. So they went to a priest for help, and he recommended Ed and Lorraine Warren, the famous demonologist couple. So when the Warrens arrived, Lorraine immediately felt that there was an evil spirit in the room. And she said that this was not a little girl spirit in the doll, it was actually a demon that was using the doll to get to people, because what it really wanted to do was attach to human beings. They took the doll with them, and they were actually scared to drive on the highway home because they were afraid that Annabelle would do something, and they were right, because the brakes kept stalling and then failing, and the car broke down several times on the way to their place. When they got the doll to their place, they didn't immediately put it in the glass case. They had it in an office separate from the house, but the doll still appeared in their main house, even though they locked it in an office. And they also saw the doll move. So finally they had a glass and wood case especially built to contain the doll. They put Annabelle in that case, put a sign on it to warn people not to open it, and they put it in an occult museum where they kept many of the possessed objects that they had come across. But that wasn't the end of the story. Strange things continued to happen. So one time a young priest came over, he took the doll out, looked at it, and he tossed it across the room because he said, God is stronger than whatever this thing is. Well, when that priest left, he crashed into a tractor trailer and it sheared his car in half, almost killing him, but he luckily made it out alive. He said what made him crash was when he looked into his rear view mirror and saw Annabelle sitting in the backseat of his car. One time, a homicide detective took Annabelle out of the case when the Warrens weren't home. and the doll did something to him so traumatic that he couldn't speak about it after. In another instant, some college students came to visit the museum, and one college kid, he was taunting Annabelle, daring it to do something to him. Well, he and his girlfriend were kicked out of the museum, and they drove away on his motorcycle, and he crashed into a tree and was killed. His girlfriend barely made it out alive, and she had to stay in the hospital for a year, and she said that before they crashed, they were actually talking and making fun of Annabelle. So the museum's been closed due to zoning issues, but Annabelle is still being held in a secure place. So I guess this is a warning. Don't mess with evil dolls.